Action Comics. Number 6, November 1938. Superman, a figure dedicated to aiding the helpless, using his incredible abilities, which become more visible with each passing day. Reports of his actions dominate the headlines, detailing his battles against corruption and crime, celebrating the towns and people saved by his strength and speed. His legend spreads rapidly across the city. To cover these events, Clark Kent, a quiet reporter for the Daily Star, is tasked with pursuing Superman news. When introduced to a supposed manager of the hero, Clark hides his shock by crushing an ashtray, a reminder that beneath the disguise he himself is Superman. Williams asserts that he legally controls Superman's name for commercial purposes, profiting from the royalties, and promising even greater opportunities if the paper agrees to promote his ventures. He proposes supplying advance stories about Superman to guarantee their coverage. Clark Kent and the editor voice doubts, pressing Williams to prove his claims. At the precise hour he predicted, a new radio program airs, loudly branding itself with Superman's name and gaining immediate public attention. The editor is impressed by the sudden marketing spectacle. Williams then reveals an even bolder display, directing their gaze outside where a large airship soars past the skyline carrying a massive advertisement urging people to use Superman-branded gasoline. Williams continues unveiling promotions, pointing to a towering billboard featuring Superman endorsing an automobile. He lists even more ventures, all supposedly licensed under his control. His story is that Superman personally approached him with the partnership. Kent reacts with reserved interest, prompting Williams to offer something bigger, a personal interview with Superman. Kent agrees, concealing his knowledge of the truth behind the disguise. Outside the office, a young messenger overhears the plan. Excited, he rushes to tell Lois Lane that Clark Kent will be meeting Superman that night, and she immediately decides to go as well. And we all know how well that's going to turn out. Lois Lane surprises Clark Kent by greeting him warmly, something she had never done before despite his attempts to court her. She suddenly proposes they go out together that evening, claiming she has come to appreciate him at last. Clark agrees, but recalls an assignment he must cover, suggesting she accompany him. Lois initially doubts his sincerity, interpreting his hesitation as weakness, but Clark quickly reassures her that she comes first while including his work. She reluctantly accepts, her mood softening. Lois confidently declares she will be waiting, thinking how easily she can manipulate Clark, while Clark, smiling to himself, reflects on how easily she can be persuaded when she believes she holds the upper hand. That evening, Lois eagerly prepares, thrilled at the chance to finally see Superman. Clark arrives on time, and he suggests they visit a nightclub before their appointment. Together, they enter a well-known spot, unaware of the spectacle about to unfold. Clark and Lois share a brief dance, with Clark trying to express his feelings, though the moment is cut short when the music ends. Soon the crowd's attention shifts as the evening's entertainment begins. The singer takes the stage to great applause, announcing a new number meant to be a hit. The title is revealed as "You're a Superman." As the nightclub performance continues, Lois and Clark watch with interest, while the singer launches into a song entirely devoted to Superman. The lyrics praise his strength and speed, likening him to steel, yet confessing vulnerability in his embrace. Each word, each verse, each refrain abundantly demonstrates why scripter Jerry Siegel made the correct choice to write comic books instead of delving into songwriting. At the nightclub, Clark notices Lois captivated by the song, making him momentarily question his affection for her. Meanwhile, in Williams' office, a man in a Superman costume, sporting a hefty package, discusses their scheme. Williams assures him that staged feats of strength will fool Kent and that backing from the newspapers will secure their success. The imposter worries about suspicion, but Williams insists the plan will work, seeing Superman's legend as an easy way to profit. Back at the club, Clark prepares to leave, but Lois suggests one more drink. When Clark glances away, she commits a Class D felony by secretly slipping a drug into his glass. Moments later, he grows drowsy as the drug begins to take effect. Lois believes her scheme has succeeded as Clark appears to be fast asleep. Seizing the opportunity, she slips away from the nightclub alone, eager to secure an exclusive scoop. But once she leaves, Clark reveals he is unaffected by the drug, his body resistant to its effects. Outside, he quickly removes his outer garments, revealing the Superman uniform beneath, and then rockets into the night sky. At the same time, Williams and his partner prepare to carry out their staged performance, expecting a reporter. Instead of Kent, Lois steps inside, explaining she has come in his place while they await Superman's arrival. Williams signals his accomplice, who appears dressed as Superman, ready to perform for Lois. He greets her, pretending to confirm his arrangement with Williams as manager. To convince her, the imposter demonstrates supposed feats of strength. He hoists a large desk above his head with ease, claiming the act is child's play, and follows it by bending a steel bar in his hands as further evidence of power. But Lois remains unconvinced. Instead of being fooled, she defiantly declares her belief that both men are frauds and vows to expose them as imposters. Lois boldly exposes the deception, revealing the desk is made of cardboard and the bar of aluminum, not steel. She declares she has already met Superman and denounces the impersonator as a fraud. In a display of impeccable judgment, Lois makes this stand while trapped alone in the apartment of two exposed schemers, ensuring the crooks she confronts are given no option but to silence her. Furious, she announces her departure, but Williams and his accomplice block her way. They insist she knows too much to be allowed to leave alive. Grabbing her, they decide to silence her permanently, suggesting they throw her from the window and disguise it as an accident or suicide. Despite her protests and struggles, the men force her toward the opening. Moments later, Lois is hurled outside, plunging downward in a desperate, screaming fall toward certain death. Superman arrives just in time to see Lois thrown from the window. With a tremendous leap, he soars upward and catches her in midair, carrying her safely to the ground. Cradled in his arms, she escapes certain death while he prepares to confront her attackers. Inside, the imposter and Williams panic, realizing the real Superman exists. They scramble to escape before he returns, abandoning their scheme. Superman enters through the window, but the room is empty, forcing him to give chase. The pair flees toward the elevator, their only escape route. Superman reaches it just as the doors shut, and kneeling in front of the world's ugliest planter, he calmly prepares to force them open. Superman tears open the elevator doors with ease, startling the men inside. Confused, they realize the elevator is rising unnaturally. Unaware, he is pulling it upward by hand over hand on the cable. Terrified, they scramble out, but their imposter makes a last futile strike at Superman, breaking his own hand against the real Man of Steel. With their resistance ended, Superman seizes both crooks, ignoring their protest as he drags them from the building. Moments later, Superman soars through the night sky, carrying his captives effortlessly toward justice. Superman delivers the captured crooks to the police station, instructing officers to charge them with attempted murder. Lois wonders when she will see him again, with apparently no thought or remorse about leaving Kent drugged and unconscious at the nightclub. Inside, the prisoners are questioned. The imposter panics upon seeing Superman outside the window, demanding protection and blaming Williams for the scheme. In turn, Williams angrily calls him a double-crosser, the two men turning on each other in desperation. The police quickly end the squabble, ordering both thrown into the clink. With justice served, Superman quietly braces himself for the next disaster Lois will invent for him to fix.